Hi guys, I'm back again today with another video, and today we're checking out the top 25 places to visit on the British Isle. Isles. So yeah, before we do start, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell button, and let's see top 25. I love these because then you recognize, I mean, not recognize, you realize that there's so many places that you've never known existed. So this is why I love this, like top 25 da 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 da. So anyways, let's get it. What am I
What's
saying?
up, guys? My name is Ryan, and I spent the last several years exploring the British
We've
Isles,
seen
and I
Ryan
want to
before,
share with
right?
you my
I don't know
favorite
where,
places. So here's my British
what
Isles
video.
top 25. The British Isles are made up of the countries of Ireland, Northern Ireland, England, Wales, and Scotland. If you want to go back in time and feel like you're in a fairy tale, the British Isles are the place for you. It's easy to see why so many myths and legends were born here. It's one of the world's most enchanting lands. Let's
This
start
intro's
this video
so
off at the
familiar.
Skellig Islands. Located off the coast of Southern Ireland, the Skelligs are a set of two islands that are easily one of the most epic locations on the British Isles. The only way to reach the islands is by boat. We left from the town of Portmagee, and it took us about an hour to reach the Great Skellig. We got off the boat, and I was just so freaking stoked. We just started walking up the island's path until we reached the stairs that lead up to the top to the monasteries.
What are
Now, the
those
stairs were just
birds? They
beyond
look
cool.
like
There were hundreds,
penguins.
if
Oh,
not
okay,
thousands
never
of
mind.
puffins
I'm
bird
dumb.
right next to the stairs and
Puffins.
on the island slopes. I mean, they were just so freaking cute. We reached the midway point at Christ Saddle and then kept hiking to the top. After climbing the island's 618
Oh,
stairs, we finally made it to the monastery. Now, the history of the island is just absolutely fascinating. The monastic settlement dates back to the 6th century, where the monks of St. Fionnan lived simple lives on this isolated island. They built these beehive huts completely out of stone. They were precisely designed to make sure no water could get into them. Now, it's believed there were about 12 monks that lived here at a time. In the 13th century, the monks left the island for mainland Ireland, and since then, Skellig has become a place for pilgrimage. All in all, the Skellig Islands were one of the coolest places I've ever been, and I couldn't recommend them enough. Afterwards, we're going to visit the most famous place in all Ireland, the Cliffs of Moher. Now, located on Ireland's west coast,
I saw
about a
it
3 hours
once.
drive from
I mean,
Dublin,
for the
the
first
cliffs
time
stretch over 14 kilometers,
in a
with the
movie, and I
highest
fell in
reaching
love.
214 meters above the sea. When we reached them, I was just amazed by the size of the cliffs. I mean, they were way bigger than I imagined, and they just drop off straight into the ocean.
So
If you want to walk
beautiful.
to the end of the cliffs, you can
Ah.
make the trek to Hag's Head. If you can, I definitely recommend waiting for sunset as the light hits the cliffs, giving it a strikingly orange glow. I mean, it's easy to see why it's one of the most popular places in all Ireland. After, we're going to head over to Ireland's charming capital of Dublin. Located on Easter Island's coast, Dublin is a city full of charm. The capital is full of beautiful gardens and architecture. It has such a friendly vibe to it. While you're there, you can walk across the River Liffey on the uniquely designed Samuel Beckett Bridge, or you can walk over to the coast to experience the Irish Sea. I just love the feel and ambience of Dublin. It's such a magical capital. Now, from Dublin, we're going to drive a few hours up to Northern Ireland. Now, Northern Ireland is interesting because it's part of the UK. Back in 1921, Ireland was split into the North and Southern Ireland. One of my favorite places in Northern Ireland is Giant's Causeway. Giant's Causeway is one of the most recognizable places in all of Ireland. It's famous for its jagged cliffs and over 40,000 basalt columns. They are these perfect hexagons that cover the coast. According to legend, the causeway was built by an Irish giant so he could cross the Northern Sea. When I was there, we
It's
started
not hard
by
to
hiking
believe.
above the cliffs and then made our way down to the causeway. I was just
Oh, I'm gonna
amazed by the
go.
bizarre rock formations. I had such a fun time walking on them. It's wild to think they were made by nature. Now, while we're still in Northern Ireland, we're going to head over to Carrick a Reid. It's this scenic bridge that crosses the sea over to this little island. I was just amazed by the
Not
water
a fan
color
of
there. I mean, it's just
hanging
so
bridge,
blue, contrasted perfectly with the green cliffs. Now, just 20
but
minutes from
I'll
there,
do
you
it.
can visit the Dark Hedges. It's this
This is so
avenue
beautiful.
lined with over 90 beech trees. They were planted almost 250 years ago. Now, according to legend, there's a ghost called the Grey Lady who wanders the road. Definitely has a spooky vibe, especially at night. After Northern
Never
Ireland, we're
mind.
going to head over to England to visit Cornwall. Now, located on England's southwestern tip, Cornwall is home to some of the best coastline in all of England. While the northern coast is full of impressive sea
Oh, look
cliffs,
at the
such as
sea though.
Godrevy Point, the southern coast is named the Cornish Riviera
The
as it's full
water.
of scenic harbor towns and villages. One of my favorites is Loo. It's this picturesque town that's divided by the Loo River, which empties into the sea. There's an incredible beach full of classic English houses. It very well could be a fairy tale. One of the most impressive locations in Cornwall is St. Michael's Mount. It's a tidal island with an impressive castle on top. It's believed to be the home of a monastery from the 8th to 11th centuries, and the castle on the island summit dates back to the 12th centuries and has been renovated throughout the ages. When the tide goes
They
out,
lie.
you can
That's my
walk across
house.
the stone
They
causeway
lie.
to get there. I think it's one of the coolest places
Literally,
in
wait.
England. It reminds me a lot
I'm there right now. I'm doing my reactions there right now. So they lie. But only you guys know that. So if you're looking for me, you're gonna find me there in Cornwall. Who would have thought, right? I mean, why do I always wear jackets and beanies? Like, who does that in the Philippines? Like, why? Like, this is supposedly that Philippines is supposedly a tropical country. So why is Ruki always in non-tropical clothes? Because she's hiding there. So if you're looking for me, there you go. You know now. Let's go. But anyways, kidding aside, that is so freaking beautiful. Like, what is this? Was this like a path and then it just went underwater before, or what is happening? But that is really picturesque. Like, look at that.
across the stone causeway to get there. I think it's one of the coolest places in England. It reminds me a lot of France's Mont Saint Michel, which is also a tidal island with similar features. While we're still in southwestern England, we're going to head over to the Isles of Scilly. Located about 28 miles off of Cornwall, the
Oh, that's
Isles of
a
Scilly
small
are an
island.
archipelago made up of 5 inhabited islands with a population around 2,000 people. The islands are full of crystal clear waters, historical sites, and rolling green hills. To reach the islands, you can take a 3-hour ferry from Penzance, or you can take a short plane ride. The islands truly are stunning. I'd love to get a boat and just sail around the islands in the summertime. Afterwards, we're going to head back to the mainland of England to visit possibly the most iconic city in the world,
Like, you
London.
just know by the
I've traveled to
building, like,
London
that's
several
London,
times, and I
right?
have to say it's one of my favorite cities. Everything from double-decker buses to the energy of Piccadilly Circus make this city feel so alive.
Don't you guys feel weird, like, for people like me, right? When I see the architecture, the skyline of London or New York or whatever other Tokyo, let's say, I would know instantly. But would you know if you saw Manila or something? Would you know? Nobody cares, right, Rookie? Nobody knows Manila. So it's only like those big cities, most of the world knows that you know the skyline. But yeah, it's really, really beautiful. And you have like you will see the Big Ben, you will see like the London Eye. So all those common known places make it very easy to know where those places
From
are.
double-decker buses to the energy of Piccadilly
But
Circus
doesn't it feel
make this
weird,
city feel
right?
so alive. You can check out the iconic Big Ben and walk across the bridge to see the Palace of Westminster. There's the Tower Bridge, which is possibly the most famous bridge in all of London. You can also see the Stoic Guards at Buckingham Palace
They're
or
so
take a
cute.
ride on the London Eye. If you haven't already been to London, I highly recommend visiting when you can. It's
If you
hard to
can
beat
give
the
me a
London
visa,
atmosphere.
Mr.
There's just no
Ryan,
city like it in the world.
I
After,
would be
we're going to
there
head
right
back to the
now.
coast to visit the
Oh,
White
by the way, I
Cliffs
mean
of
in
Dover.
Cornwall, I
Located
said,
about
right?
2 hours drive from London, the White Cliffs of Dover are not only a beautiful scenic location, but also an intriguing historical site, especially regarding World War II history. Since the cliffs
Is
are
it just
Britain's
white?
closest point to continental Europe, being only 20 miles from France, during World War II, crossing from Dover
Wait, is this like naturally white or was it painted? What is happening here? Here. I can't even speak.
Europe, being only 20 miles from France. During World War II, crossing from Dover was the primary route to Europe by boat or plane, so the White Cliffs were the first and last site of Britain for the troops. After the evacuation of Dunkirk, the site of the Cliffs of Dover was a sign of relief as the thousands of Allied troops made it safely back to Britain. I mean, the history of these cliffs is absolutely fascinating. Now, while we're still on the topic of cliffs, we're going to visit the
is
Seven
naturally
Sisters.
white. No,
Now, located
that's
about
different.
2 hours from Dover, the Seven Sisters are home to some of the most beautiful cliffs in all of England. I love how there's just this perfectly green grass, then a straight drop off of the white cliffs to the beach below. The Seven Sisters has been used in film and television as a stand-in for the White Cliffs of Dover. They look just like them, and I think honestly they're more scenic and less people and infrastructure there. Regardless, the Seven Sisters are an incredible coastline and a perfect place to stroll along the English coast. Now afterwards we're going to visit the city of Brighton. Now located about 40 minutes from the Seven Sisters, Brighton is a beautiful resort town with a massive
But they have
beach
like a
that lines the
pebbly
English Channel. One of the most
shore,
interesting
right? Or
features
is it
is the
sand?
Brighton Eye 360. It's a tower that rises up and offers an incredible view of Brighton. Another feature I really like about Brighton is its piers. There's the remains of the West Pier that was built in 1866 but was sadly burnt down in 2003. And then there's the Brighton Palace Pier, which was established in 1899 and has an amusement park at the end. Now afterwards we're going to head over to the Jurassic Coast. While you won't find any dinosaurs here, you might find some fossils on the beach. One of the most famous spots on the Jurassic Coast is Durdle Door. It's this limestone arch that goes straight into the ocean. There's a great beach
Because it's limestone, so it's white, the rocks, right? Correct me if I'm talking like stupidity, because sometimes, I mean, not sometimes, most of the time I do, because I don't know anything in life. But yeah, that's so fascinating. When I see that, like the white rocks, I'm like, huh? Because I've never seen such, like in Ireland a while ago, it's normal, right? But these white ones are very fascinating. It's mostly here in England. Wow.
and I can't think of a
And
better place to
notice I said
spend on a
here.
warm summer day. One of my favorite
Told ya.
spots on the Jurassic Coast is Old Harry's Rocks. I remember the first time I
Harry
saw
has a rock?
pictures of this place, and I was just baffled by the
Of course,
scenery.
Harry has
The
a rock.
Old
right?
Harry's Rocks are these sea
Should have
stacks that are
known it.
made completely out of chalk that mark the end of the Jurassic Coast. In World War II, the
That's
stacks
so
were used for
beautiful. It
target
doesn't even look
practice by
real.
pilots. Pretty wild. Now afterwards, we're going to visit the Isle of Wight. Located across the sea from Old Harry's Rocks, the Isle of Wight is the largest island in all of England. You can reach the Isle of Wight by taking a ferry from Southampton, or also by taking a hovercraft from Portsmouth. Now one of my favorite features of the Isle of Wight is the Needles Lighthouse. It's this 19th century lighthouse that is built upon these chalk rocks that jet out of the sea. It's such a unique location, and I just love the White Sea Cliffs. Afterwards, we're going to visit the Lake District. Located in northwestern England, the Lake District is known for its glacial ribbon lakes and its fell mountains. It's home to the
giving me
Scafell Pike,
Norway.
which is the highest place in all of England with an elevation of 3,209 feet. The area is just absolutely beautiful. I think one of the best things you can do in the Lake District is just drive on the roads that wind through the mountains. One notable road is the Honister Pass. If you keep driving down the pass, you'll reach Buttermere Lake. It's surrounded by massive mountains, and it's just incredible overall scenery. And I couldn't recommend the Lake District enough. Easily one of the most beautiful places in
Can I
all of
move
England.
there?
After the Lake District, we're going to head over to the country of Wales. Located in the
Wales
southwest
is
part of
definitely a fairy tale place. Like Wales is like you're gonna find yourself some like fairies or some like elves. Like it's definitely giving us that vibe already. Like look at this. Wait, where is that?
after the Lake
Look at that. This is giving me Hansel and Gretel, right? Energy, even if it's German.
District, we're going to head over to the country of Wales.
Still.
Located in the southwest part of Great Britain, Wales is famous for its mountainous national parks, picturesque coastline, and distinct Welsh language. One of the most scenic places in Wales is the Snowdonia National Park.
Snowdonia.
It's a region in northwest Wales that is known for its mountains
If you
and
live
lakes.
there,
The
you're
highest
lucky.
peak in Wales is Mount Snowdon, which is located in the park with an elevation of 1,085 meters. You can hike to the top or also take the Snowdon Mountain Railway. One of my favorite lakes in Snowdonia is Llyn Padarn. It's located on the base of Mount Snowdon. It's just such a serene area. Now if you want to explore some of Wales' coastline, the Llyn Peninsula offers some scenic locations. I really like the area around the Ir Vale mountain. It's a beautiful coast coupled with green farmland and has a backdrop of impressive peaks. Afterwards, we're going to head up to Scotland to visit Edinburgh. If you want to go back in time, Edinburgh is a must. When I started traveling, this was one of the first cities I ever visited. It's a medieval old town
Why do I have
with
a
intricate
Philippine
neoclassical
passport?
buildings and cobblestone streets. The iconic Edinburgh Castle overlooks the city. It's one of the oldest fortified places in all of Europe. Now while we're still in Edinburgh, we're going to head over to Arthur's Seat. Arthur's Seat is located on Holyrood Park, and it's a short walk from Edinburgh Centre. Arthur's Seat is an extinct volcano with an elevation of 823 feet. When I was there, I wanted to get as high as I could so I could see all Edinburgh. I made the hike up and reached the top. It was so windy up there, I just couldn't believe it. After I hiked to the top, I just had a good time hiking around Holyrood Park and enjoying the views of one of the British Isles' most iconic cities. Another stunning nearby place in Scotland is Dunnottar Castle. It's located about 2 hours drive from Edinburgh. This medieval fortress is full of history. It's where the Scottish crown jewels were hidden during the 17th century. Today only the ruins tell the castle's past. The cliffs that surround the fortress make it so dramatic. Now just an hour's north from Dunnottar Castle is the Rattray Head Lighthouse. It's an amazing beach area with a 112 feet tall lighthouse just off the coast and was built in 1895. If you keep driving up the coast, you'll reach the Duncansby Stacks. It's located at the most northeastern part of the British mainland. It's about a 6 hours drive from Edinburgh, so quite the road trip, but it's definitely worth it. It's home to some of the most beautiful sea stacks in all the British Isles. After the sea stacks, we're going to head over to Glencoe. Located in the Scottish Highlands, Glencoe is home to some of Scotland's most beautiful scenery and mountains. I found this place by accident as I was driving around the Highlands. It's been the filming location for many popular movies such as Braveheart. My favorite part of Glencoe is its mountains. I mean, I couldn't believe how huge they were. I felt like I was in Switzerland or Norway. I recommend just taking a drive on the A82 road and you can just see all the wonders Glencoe has to offer. It has one of my favorite mountains in the area. I won't even try to pronounce that. It has an almost perfect pyramid shape and you get a great view of it from the road. Now after, we're going to head over to one of Scotland's most iconic locations, the Glenfinnan Viaduct. Located at the top of Loch Shiel in the West Highlands of Scotland. This may look familiar because it was featured in the Harry Potter movies. While I was there, I wanted to get a close look at the bridge, so I walked underneath it. I was just shook how big it actually was. After, I hiked up to a good vantage point so I could see the famous train go across the viaduct. It was such a magical experience. For our final destination, we're going to visit the Isle of Skye. This is one of my favorite places, not just in Scotland, but the world. You literally feel like you're in a fairy tale when you visit. I was lucky enough to go here a few summers ago. It was one of the most memorable weeks of my life. Now to get there, it's about a 5 hours drive from Edinburgh. One of the most impressive places on the Isle of Skye is the Old Man Store. It's one of my all-time favorite rock formations. I felt like I was on the set of Game of Thrones. When you drive to the store, you can see in the distance and just gets you so pumped. Now to get to the Old Man Store, it's about a 4-kilometer hike. You'll walk through some conservation gates and you'll reach the infamous rock pinnacles. I went for sunrise and sunset and both occasions were breathtaking. So the legend of the Old Man Store is supposedly a giant lived here a long time ago, and when he was buried, his thumb was left sticking out of the ground, creating the mystical rock formation. Just a few minutes away from the Old Man Store, there's a breathtaking waterfall called Meat Falls that cascades down into the ocean. There's a nice viewpoint.
Lied to me, right? Lied to me. I love being lied to. I mean, like in a show or in a freaking story, right? But not in like real life. But anyways, yeah, I love those things. Like mythical things, like, oh yeah, this giant, who, da da da, like, tell me that. I like it. That's why one of my favorite genres of literature is mythology, because, like, why not, right? So him telling us the background also and the story of, like, places is so fascinating.
Waterfall called Meat Falls that cascades down into the ocean. There's a nice viewpoint where you can look at the waterfall. One of the most famous sea cliffs is Kilt Rock, which are right next to Meat Falls. If you do want to go on a beautiful hike, I recommend visiting the Kerrang. It's one of the most beautiful areas in the Isle of Skye. You feel like you're walking on a giant golf course. I found this insane vantage point to get a good panoramic view of the area. I just love this place so much. Well, that is it for my British Isles Top 25. Let me know where your favorite place is in the comments below. I also have a second channel where I make hour-long relaxation films. I was thinking I'll go into this and I'll probably come out wanting to go to Ireland, but then not only do I want to go to Ireland, but also they gave us beautiful places in England, which I didn't think existed because I was thinking of only the busy London. I wasn't thinking of like the outskirts, right? So shame on me. But then there's so many beautiful places in England, and then they showed us Wales, and I'm like, excuse me, like teleport me there right now because like I belong there. Like I was like, did you see me? I said this before already in one of our Irish probably or Scottish reaction. I look beautiful as a ginger. Did you see me? Like, I belong
in Wales or Ireland or somewhere where gingers are, you know, exist, because I've never seen one in my, no, I've seen, no, I have, maybe, have I don't know. um I I told you guys, like, I'm natural, like, oh, in my past life I was literally supposed to be, I was there. But how did I end up here? I don't know. Right? How did I end up here? I don't know. How did I end up tanned? I don't know either. Like, where did it go wrong? Like, I don't mind who I am right now, but internally I should be in Europe. Like, something tells me that that's where, like, why don't I like the heat, right? Why do I get irritated in the heat? Why do I hate hot places? Like, it's not for me, right? I want mountains, I want greenery. That is my vibes. Yes, there could be oceans and beach, whatever, but as long as it's like, I like cold weathers wherein it's like gloomy and it's like emo, it's sad. That is me. So why am I here, right? If you want to trade places, just ring me up and we will do that. Because clearly she's in the wrong country. Anyways, guys, sorry for me and my like delusional mind, right? But thank you guys for joining me and watching me. I don't even know why you do it, but good luck on you. And yeah, recommend more in the comments if you want to. If you like this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe. I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.